Mr. Speaker, sir, in the course of the reply of the Honourable Minister, he informed that the department would be working on the enrollment of Aadhar. So currently the Aadhar enrollment stands at around 17 to 18% across the state, sir. So I would like to know from the Honourable Minister as how he would be completing the task by end of June, if the current enrollment stands only at 18% across the state, sir.
Yes, regarding with that question. So actually, from our side, yeah, it seems it's quite tough, but we'll try to do as much as we can. But yeah, it's quite tough, sir, regarding with that. So still, we'll work on it, what it can be done. So, and if possible, we'll ask from the government of India, so that to give extension for it, if possible.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, sir, I also rise to support the motion as moved by the Honourable Member from Ram regarding the plight of our farmers across the state, sir, in the cultivation of several cash crops, horticultural crops and other crops that would bring profit to this activity that is supporting all the households in which so we are dependable on these activities of the farmers across the state as well as the nation, sir. They are the backbone of the entire country, the entire state, and 75% of our population are engaged directly or indirectly in farming activity. So in the due short course of time that I could interact with various farmers and agriculturists and also the departmental officers, so it seems there is a very serious lack of data, sir. Information is very poor. We do not have a list of farmers. So in this growing need for support and targeted approach, we have very few less resource, and with the less amount of resource that we have, so we also have to have a targeted approach in terms of the intention of the schemes, in terms of the inputs that we have to provide. So data is one thing that we lack. If suppose we want a list of all the farmers or agriculturalists in a particular area, I doubt we'll be having some. Because if I browse through the portal of the Meghalaya Agricultural Marketing Board, there are registered 258 people who are registered to their SMS service as per the data that is available in the website. So sir, if you look at this particular information, if there are only 258 people who are subscribing to the SMS service of the Agricultural Board or the Agricultural Marketing Board, what is the use of this activity or service? So there are thousands of farmers across the state, and with the number of mobile connectivity and the mobile handsets that they have, I feel, sir, this service can be enhanced. And we need this data, sir. Without data, I think the approach to government will be sporadic, will not be focused, and crop-wise activity also needs to be focused in that manner. The policy that has to be devised for each and every crop that has been listed by the honourable members can be approached in a very methodic and systematic manner, sir. So, market committees. We have heard about market committees and how they will help in improving the marketing as well as access to better price. But then we hardly see any market committee that is functional. In the going again to the website, sir, we see that the department has already identified several markets across the state. But then the question is whether the market committees are available or functional. And if they are, have they been connected to the regulated markets? So the economy has grown, the population has grown, and the regulated markets are only two so far. The government regulated markets are only in Mauyong and Gorobada, and their infrastructure, as we can see when we pass by, so it's very in a dilapidated condition and not up to the required mark that is required. So the prices, if you go to the website, the prices are very remunerative. If I look at ginger, sir, it is current price for ginger today, it seems it is around 840 per 40 kgs. So it is around 2,100 rupees per ton. So this is a good price, and that is the minimum price. Maximum price is around 4,000 plus. So this is a good price, sir. But then, sir, nobody knows about this. We are seeing that our farmers live on subsistence farming. We have met farmers on the way to the market. When they go with a bag full of tomatoes or a sack full of ginger, as we have seen, they have high hopes that they will be selling it at a higher price. But then they come back with a very sad face. Once I met a lady carrying tomatoes on the way while she went to the market. While coming back, she again brought the tomatoes back to her own house. Why? Because the market price was around 2 rupees per kg. She just threw the tomatoes there on the ground itself, sir. And sir, the regulated markets, their network, the way they connect with the cooperative societies, the way they connect with the market committees needs to be studied. Until unless we have a system that is fully supported by the government, sir, it will take time for people to go out on their own and carry out the activity of the market committees. Until unless the regulated markets, the network are improved. Now the market is there in Mauyong, sir, and seeing the traffic congestion, how will a person or farmer traveling all the way from Mausanram carrying broomstick and bay leaf reach that particular location? So that itself will dissuade the farmers from bringing the products to the regulated markets. So the network has to be increased, collection points have to be installed. At least that will be a relief to the farmers, sir, because we already know that from this particular kind of area we have so much of produce coming, and the season is also known, sir. So based on the season and the quantum of goods or the quantum of bay leaf or broomstick or ginger that is being brought to the market, sir, based on that quantum and season, the activities can be regulated and monitored. So that way, sir, perhaps the regulated markets can improve the network, improve the collection of the goods, and give better prices to our farmers across the state, sir. Sir, the access to inputs. So seed, as we all know, is a very precious commodity, very difficult to find. And here, sir, if we talk the ginger seed farm that is there in Umsni. Now is the season for planting of the ginger seeds. Just last week, some farmers were moving around asking for seeds, sir. But then when we contact the farm, sir, there's no more seed. Quantity is not anymore there. So even though the farmer is interested to carry out the activity, but then when there's no access to input, how will we expect the activity to grow? It is directly like hitting the very base of this activity, sir, when there's no access to seed. So this again comes back to my first submission, where there's no proper data. When we do not know how much seed is to be consumed or required by the farmers, how will we know how much to produce? So this lack of coordination, lack of data collection will definitely result in these kind of happenings, these kind of incidents across the state, where the farmer will be distressed and will be prone to buying seeds that are higher cost. Once we see, and if he can't afford, he'll be buying only lesser quantity as per his capacity, his financial capacity. If he buys lesser capacity, lesser number of seeds, then definitely it will lead to lesser produce. So, sir, these are a few submissions that I would like to add on, and hope the Honourable Minister will take note of these in order to improve the agricultural activity as well as support the farmers in our state, sir. So with these few submissions, sir, I resume my seat. Sir, Deputy Speaker, sir, I also like to seek clarity on the expansion of the regulated markets, sir, because we have talked at length about the problems of marketing and access to markets and price control. So the one way of relieving the farmers is the regulated markets. But then in the course of the reply, sir, we have not had any clarity on the regulated markets and how the department is thinking of expanding its activities across the state, sir. And as well as in the terms of data collection and having a proper mapping of farmers across the state, sir. So I'd like to request the Honourable Minister to kindly clarify on these few points.
But George, he refer again the market committee. This also is very important, especially to help our farmers. And from the department, they'll look into it and try to resolve this matter, because it's very important and very, benefit for our farmer. We can set up the committee to access of our farmer to sell the vegetable. Thank you.